Sit down to do the one thing that actually matters today. The hard thing. The conversation, the email, the work, the page, the call. You open the screen. You put your hand on the mouse. And without quite deciding, you are now 38 minutes into something else. You did 40 small tasks today. The hard one is still there. It is the only one that mattered. And tomorrow you will sit down again and the same thing will happen. This is not laziness. This is not a discipline problem. This is your brain doing the exact thing it was built to do. It is treating the hard thing as a threat and routing you around it through 1,000 small distractions that feel productive but are not. The samurai had a name for this mechanism. The Zen monks had a fix for it. The fix is 400 years old. It has never been improved on, and the modern productivity books have all flattened it into slogans that miss the mechanism. It is called the Lotus Method. Before I show you the parable that explains it and the 3-step practice you can use this afternoon, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Then in the comments, write the one hard thing you have been avoiding this week. Be specific. Name the actual action, not the category. The action. That naming is the first part of the practice. Everything else in this video assumes you have already named it. The lotus is written full hasu. It is the central Buddhist symbol in Japan and has been for 1400 years. The lotus grows in pond mud, not on top of the mud, not next to it, in it. Its roots stay in the mud forever. The flower opens above the water surface, untouched. The lotus is the visible argument that difficulty and beauty are not opposites. They are the same plant. If you visit any old Japanese temple, you will see lotus everywhere, carved into the eaves, painted on the screens. Held in the hand of the seated Buddha statue, the reason is not aesthetic. The lotus is the central Buddhist teaching expressed as a plant. Most people who pass these temples see a pretty flower. The monks living inside saw a precise instruction. When a Zen master in 18th century Japan looked at a lotus, he did not see a metaphor for purity rising above corruption. That was the devotional reading. The Zen reading was sharper. The lotus does not avoid mud. The lotus does not negotiate with mud. The lotus does not wait for the mud to become less muddy before it begins. The lotus puts a single root into the mud and grows. The samurai used the same image with a sharper edge. Yamamoto Tsunetomo, in the early 18th century, dictated a book called Hagakure. It opens with one of the most misquoted lines in samurai literature. The way of the samurai is found in dying. Generations of Western readers have taken this as a death cult slogan. It is not. Tsunetomo was describing a precise mental maneuver. Before the hard action, the samurai was instructed to imagine the worst possible outcome. Not in vague terms, in full detail. Imagine the failure. Imagine the loss. Imagine the death. And then, having imagined it completely, accept it. The mind that has already accepted the worst has nothing left to defend. Resistance to starting collapses because there is nothing left for the resistance to protect. The lotus does the same thing in a different language. The lotus does not protect itself from mud. The lotus accepts the mud as substrate and grows. This is the teaching. Resistance to the hard thing is not a problem to solve. It is a misunderstanding about what the hard thing is. The hard thing is the substrate, not the obstacle. You do not avoid the mud and find the flower. You go through the mud and become the flower. Those are the same action. There is a story from the early 18th century. An old Zen master lived in a small mountain temple west of Edo. He took on students. One of them was a young monk named Daichi, who could not sit through a difficult assignment. Daichi had been given a koan, a single question to sit with for as long as it took to crack open. The koan was hard. Every time Daichi sat down with it, his mind found a reason to leave. A chore he had forgotten, a meal that needed preparing, a letter that needed writing. After an hour of finding reasons to leave the meditation hall, Daichi would emerge frustrated and ashamed. He went to the master and asked for a different practice. Something easier. Something he could actually do. The master listened. Then he stood up, walked to the small temple pond, and reached into the mud at the bank. He pulled out a handful of black silt. He filled a small clay pot with it. He placed one lotus seed inside. He handed the pot to Daichi. "Plant this," the master said. "Water it. Then go back to the hall." Daichi took the pot. He placed it on the windowsill of his room. He returned to the meditation hall. He sat with the koan. His mind found reasons to leave. He left. He came back. He left. He came back. The lotus took 2 summers to bloom. In the first summer, nothing visible happened. The seed sat in the mud. Daichi continued his pattern of leaving the hall, returning, leaving again. In the second summer, a small green shoot appeared above the water surface in the pot. Daichi noticed it. He went to the master. "The lotus is growing," he said, "but I have not changed." The master nodded. "The lotus has done one thing only," he said. "It put one root into the mud. Then it stopped fighting the mud. It did not try to make the mud less muddy. It did not try to escape the mud. It accepted the mud as the place it lived, and it grew." That is what you have been failing to do with the koan. You are trying to escape the difficulty before you have put a root in. "What is the root?" Daichi asked. "The smallest possible piece of the hard thing," the master said. "Not the whole action, not the goal. The smallest first motion that gets you across the line from not doing to doing." For the lotus seed, it was one root. For you, it is 1 minute with the koan, before your mind constructs the reason to leave. Just 1 minute. Put the root in. Daichi returned to the hall. He sat with the koan for 1 minute before allowing himself to leave. The first day, he managed 45 seconds. The next day, the full minute. The day after, 2 minutes by accident, because the root had gone in and he had stopped noticing. The lotus bloomed at the end of that summer. By then, Daichi was sitting for hours. He never returned to ask for an easier practice. The master never mentioned the lotus pot again. Both of them understood what had happened. The seed had taught the lesson the master could not have taught with words. This is the entire teaching. The hard thing is hard because of the resistance to starting it. The resistance to starting it is what the mind constructs to defend itself from the hard thing. The samurai's move was to imagine the action already complete, removing what the mind was defending against. The Zen master's move was to plant one root, removing the size of the action the mind was defending against. Both are the same move. Make the gap between not doing and doing so small that the mind cannot defend against it. That is the Lotus Method. 2 teachers, 1 mechanism, 1 name. You will recognize this in yourself. The email you have been not writing for 3 days. The conversation you have been not having. The work session you have been not starting. In every case, the resistance is to starting, not to doing. Once started, the thing usually finishes itself. Notice the small evidence of this in your own week. The morning you finally answered the message you had been avoiding for a week. How long did the writing actually take? 2 minutes. 3. Maybe 5. The avoidance took 7 days. The doing took 5 minutes. This ratio is not unusual. It is the rule. The brain spends days defending you against something that takes minutes once you begin. The Lotus Method is the precise mental move that collapses this ratio. You stop spending days defending. You spend 2 minutes doing. Then the thing is done and the days are returned to you. The brain is not lazy. The brain is doing exact threat assessment. The hard thing has been categorized as a threat. Perhaps because of an old failure. Perhaps because the outcome is uncertain. Perhaps because the action is socially exposed. The brain routes you around the threat by offering you 40 smaller actions that feel useful and are not. This is not a moral failure. This is a load-bearing feature of the nervous system. The samurai understood this exactly. They built their training around it. The Lotus Method is the precise move that collapses this defense without trying to argue with it. Here is how the Lotus Method works on the hard thing waiting for you this afternoon. Begin with the naming. Name the hard thing, not the category, the action. Not be more productive, not be a better friend, not exercise more. The actual physical action, the specific email to the specific person, the specific page of work, the specific phone call. If you cannot name the action in one sentence, you have not yet named it. Most people stop here because naming it is itself uncomfortable. The naming is the first part of the practice. Do not skip it. Take a worked example. You have been not writing a difficult message to a friend for 2 weeks. The category is be a better friend. The category is useless. The action is write the 4-sentence message that begins with the apology, sent to that specific name, before the end of today. That sentence is what you write down. The category disappeared the moment you named the action. The second move is the root itself. Put one root in, not the whole action, not even a third of it. The smallest piece that crosses the line from not doing to doing. Open the document. Type one sentence, any sentence, even a wrong sentence. Dial the number, even if you hang up after one ring. Walk to the door, even if you do not yet step outside. The point is not to finish. The point is to plant the root. The action will continue itself once the root is in, because what the brain was resisting was the starting, not the doing. Take the same worked example. The 4-sentence message to the friend. The root is one sentence, not 4. 1. You may write only the apology. You may write only the first half of the apology. You may write the salutation and a comma. Anything that crosses the line from a blank screen to a screen with one written mark is sufficient. The remaining 3 sentences will follow with less effort than the first sentence cost. The third move, and the hardest, is staying. Stay in the mud. When the resistance returns, and it will, often within 30 seconds of starting, do not interpret it as a signal to stop. The discomfort is the mud. The mud is the substrate, not the problem. The lotus does not stop growing because the mud is muddy. You do not stop the hard thing because the discomfort is uncomfortable. You stay in the mud and continue. If you can stay for 1 more minute, you have done the entire practice. Honesty. One motion, presence with the discomfort that follows. That is the whole practice of the Lotus Method. It is the same structure as every serious Japanese discipline. The kendo student names what he is doing wrong. He makes the smallest correction. He stays through the discomfort of the new movement. Then it becomes the movement. You will be tempted, at every step, to make it bigger. Do not. The mind that wants the hard thing to be a grand transformation is the same mind that has been avoiding it for 6 months. Grand transformation is what the resistance offers you, so you do not have to do the small specific thing. Keep it small. The lotus did not become a forest. It became a flower. One flower. A year from now, if you apply the Lotus Method to one hard thing per week, you will be a different kind of person. Not because of willpower. Willpower has a half-life of 72 hours. Not because of discipline as a feeling. Discipline as a feeling does not exist. You will be different because you will have spent the year planting roots into the things that previously had no roots. Each root, on its own, was small. 48 roots over a year is a different life. The samurai understood this exact arithmetic. So did the Zen masters. The lotus seed that the master placed in the clay pot for Daichi grew because Daichi did not try to grow the whole plant at once. He gave it one root, and then he stopped fighting the mud, and the plant did the rest. You will do the same with the hard thing you named in the comments. Plant one root this afternoon, then tomorrow plant the next one. Do not negotiate with the mud. Do not wait for the mud to become less muddy. The mud is the substrate. The flower opens above it. If this video gave you something, leave one comment with the specific small first root you will plant this afternoon, not the whole action. The first root, the opening of the document, the first dial of the number, the first sentence, even a wrong sentence. Make it small enough that your brain cannot construct a defense against it. The lotus does not want to grow. It grows because that is what a lotus does. You do not need to want to do the hard thing. You only need to put one root in. That is the Lotus Method. The rest is the substrate doing its work. Sit still. Cut clean. Walk on. See you in the next video.